The world did not know it, but the time was about to be fulfilled. For centuries, humanity walked under the weight of sin, law, and silence. Prophets had raised their voices announcing future promises. Kings had fallen believing themselves eternal. Empires had risen with power and then crumbled like dust. Israel waited clinging to hope, and the heavens seemed closed while God was silent. But nothing was casual, because history did not advance at random but guided by an eternal plan. And as the scripture says in Galatians 4:4, when the fulfillment of time came, God sent his Son, born of woman and born under the law. It was not before or after. It was not an accident or a reaction. It was exactly the perfect moment. Decided from eternity and on a seemingly ordinary night, in a forgotten corner of the vast Roman Empire, far from the thrones and the noise of power, God decided to do the unthinkable. The creator of the universe did not descend with heavenly armies or with thunder that shook the earth. He did not appear in palaces or was announced by kings, but he manifested himself in flesh, entering the world as a fragile, vulnerable child, wrapped in diapers and lying in a manger, showing that the power of God is not always revealed with visible force, but with divine humility. The eternal became temporary, the infinite accepted limits, the Almighty chose to depend on human arms, and the Holy One wore human flesh, because a born of woman was not a poetic phrase but an eternal and forceful declaration. God did not pretend to be human or adopt an appearance. He became truly man. He felt hunger and thirst. He knew the weariness of the road, the cold of the night, and the pain of rejection. He wept at the grave of a friend. He bled under the weight of the blows and walked among us sharing our condition. But he was also born under the law, the same law that accused the sinner and revealed his guilt, and Jesus did not come to escape it, but to submit completely, living under every commandment, every requirement, and every judgment, obeying where all failed, standing firm where all fell, and perfectly fulfilling what no one could fulfill. While the world followed its routine without noticing what was happening, heaven had already begun its final plan. Humble shepherds were awakened by angels in the middle of the night. Wise men from distant lands followed a star without fully understanding its meaning and without realizing it. Humanity was watching God walk among the dust of the earth, because the manifestation in flesh was not only a historical birth, but an eternal rescue. Since God knew that man could not save himself, and that the law could reveal sin but could not remove it, that is why in the fulfillment of time, he did not send an idea, nor a message, nor an angel, but his own Son. And every step of Jesus had purpose, every word had eternal weight, and every miracle was a sign of the approaching kingdom, although his greatest work was not to open blind eyes or raise paralytics, but to carry the sin of the world, because that child in the manger would one day carry a cross and hang on it. And there the manifestation in flesh reached its deepest and most painful point. God dying for man, the one who knew no sin made sin, the just surrendering himself for the unjust, the Creator offering his life for his creation. But the story did not end on the cross or in the darkness of the tomb, because the same God who manifested himself in flesh overcame death with power. The tomb was empty, the law was satisfied, sin defeated, and humanity received something that it could never gain on its own. Redemption, demonstrating that Galatians 4:4 is not only a verse, but the proof that God is never late, that all pain had meaning and that heaven always had a plan. And today that same God who one day walked among us continues to call hearts, continues to offer grace and forgiveness, because the fulfillment of time did not occur only once in history. It also occurs every time someone decides to believe.